You know, there's an invisible killer lurking in your home right now. It could be silently cranking up your risk of disease, even shortening your life. But here's the most important part. You have the power to fight back, and we can start right now.
And no, that's not just some clickbait headline. That is a direct quote from biomedical scientist Dr. Rhonda Patrick. She's talking about a very specific factor that can literally, yes, double your risk of dying early.
So what on earth is this invisible killer? Well, here's the thing. It builds up silently, and you probably won't see any sign of it on the bathroom scale. In fact, you can be what most people consider lean and still have a really dangerous amount of it.
Okay, the culprit we're talking about is visceral fat. And I need you to understand, this is not the fat you can pinch on your arms or your legs. No, this is something far, far more sinister. I want you to imagine visceral fat as a toxic organ that's actually growing deep inside your body. It wraps itself around your vital organs, like your liver and intestines. And unlike regular fat, this stuff isn't just sitting there. It's alive. It's like a busy, rogue chemical factory, constantly pumping out these inflammatory molecules that poison your whole system from the inside out.
And just look at how it creeps up on us. As you can see from this chart, an average guy might gain over a pound of this stuff between age 30 and 60. That's more than double what he started with. It just accumulates quietly, year after year, even if the number on the scale hardly changes at all.
So let's be really clear here. This is not about vanity. This isn't about how you look in a swimsuit. This is a serious, serious health crisis. Visceral fat doubles your mortality risk, and it spikes your risk of aggressive metastatic cancer. And that constant stream of inflammation it's pumping out, well, that's what's leaving you feeling exhausted and foggy all the time. It's the main driver behind something called insulin resistance.
And this is just a brilliant way to picture the problem. Think of insulin as a taxi driver. Its job is to pick up sugar from your blood and drive it to your cells for energy. But visceral fat, it basically blocks all the roads. The taxis can't get through to do their job. So where does the sugar go? Nowhere. It gets left behind, floating around in your blood, causing massive damage and paving the road straight to type 2 diabetes. But here's the twist in the story. It's not just about the food you eat. Our modern world is just flooded with man-made chemicals that are hijacking our hormones and literally telling our bodies to store more of this dangerous fat. We're going to focus on 3 of the main culprits. They're called endocrine disruptors because they mess with your hormones. They either mimic them or block them, throwing your body's entire communication system into total chaos. And you find them everywhere. In plastics, food packaging, non-stick coatings, they're really hard to avoid.
Let's start with a really surprising one. The thermal paper they use for store receipts. It is literally coated in a chemical called BPA, and this chemical acts just like estrogen in the body, which can throw your natural hormonal balance completely out of whack.
And the impact is just staggering. One study on adolescent boys found that the ones with the highest exposure to BPA had 50% lower testosterone levels than the boys with the least exposure. 50%! That's a massive, massive effect during a supercritical time for development.
Now this next one it's truly unsettling. A lot of that black plastic that's used for takeout containers, it's often made from recycled electronics. Yeah, you heard that right, which means cancer-causing flame retardants can actually leach out of the container and right into your hot food. And finally, the convenient non-stick pan. So many of them are coated with PFAS, which are also known as forever chemicals. Why? Because they never break down, not in your body and not in the environment. And when you heat them up, they can leach into your food and have been shown to actually accelerate ovarian aging in women.
Okay, I know that was a lot of bad news, but here is the powerful truth. As dangerous as visceral fat is, it's also the very first fat your body is willing to burn when you make the right changes. You can start shrinking it surprisingly fast. Let's look at how.
Now, when it comes to exercise, we need to be specific. Lifting weights is fantastic, don't get me wrong. It builds muscle, and that helps you manage your blood sugar. But it's aerobic exercise. We're talking running, brisk walking, cycling. That is the single most effective tool for directly burning that deep, visceral fat for fuel. Intermittent fasting is another amazing weapon in our arsenal. See, after about 12 hours without any food, your body runs out of its easy-access sugar fuel. It has no choice but to flip this metabolic switch and start burning its own stored fat, including visceral fat, for energy. And a cool side effect of this process is that it produces these powerful brain-boosting molecules called ketones, which can help clear away that exact brain fog we were talking about earlier.
So now, let's tackle those environmental threats. Look, you can't live in a bubble, I get it. But you can build a really effective shield against these chemicals with just a few simple daily habits.
Here is your simple action plan. 4 things. First, store and heat your food in glass, never ever plastic. Second, ditch the non-stick and switch to stainless steel or cast iron pans. Third, just ask for an emailed receipt so you don't have to touch that thermal paper. And finally, invest in a quality water filter. Seriously, just these 4 swaps alone will dramatically lower your exposure.
And get this, you can even eat your way to a better defense. There's a powerful compound in broccoli and other vegetables like it called sulforaphane, and it actually boosts your body's own natural detoxification enzymes, helping you flush out nasty chemicals like BPA way more effectively.
You know, it is so easy to feel overwhelmed by all this information. But please remember this. This is not about being perfect. It's about building small, consistent habits. Every single healthy swap you make is a vote for your long-term health. It's how you reclaim control.
So I'll leave you with this question to think about. After hearing all this, what is the one simple change you can make right now, today, to start fighting back against the invisible killer in your own kitchen?